Hi, my name is Boris, and in this video I'm going to show you the fundamentals of mixing in Ableton 12 for beginners. We're going to take a look at a melodic techno project called Alive, and we will assemble the mixing chain on every single track. Before we get into the video, if you like what we are doing on this channel, make sure to subscribe. We've got a lot more Ableton videos coming up. If you'd like to learn Ableton 12 with all of the foundations of music production, check out our Beginner to Advanced Live 12 Start to Finish course. And make sure to also check out the Everything Bundle Collector's Edition, which includes all of the courses, sound packs and project files in our store. All of the links you'll find in the video description. Alright, so let's get started. Here we have the fragment for today, let's just play it first. Alright, so that's the mixed track. I'm now going to disable all of the processing and you'll hear what it sounds like without the mixing. We are really lacking balance here. The frequencies are all over the place. We don't have any space added to the synths, to the drums, and it's all sounding very dry. So let's go top to bottom and we will enable the effects back on every single track and we will discuss why we're doing so. Alright, so first of all, we've got the kick drum. Very simple sound, no alterations here. We are raising the gain with utility and doing some minor adjustments with EQ. If you want to hear the difference, you can click on these headphones. This is the difference over here. We're removing some of the frequencies around 400 Hz and also around 5 kHz. That's the kick drum, very, very simple. Now, the bass line. So here on this bass track, we have an instrument track playing. We've got wavetable on the first chain, which has 3 voices of unison and it's quite stereo, and then we have a single mono saw wave. This just adds this solid signal in the middle, and then we have this detuned signal on the sides. A nice combo, but then we are doing some mid-side adjustments with utility. You can do that by right-clicking the gain knob and going to mid-side mode, and we are reducing the sides, so it would be like this by default. This would be just the mids, and we're just reducing it slightly. Then on top we've got EQ, mostly just removing some of the mids here. Another EQ, and we are in the mid-side mode once again. And on the sides we are cutting the lows here. We've got auto filter, which is only being enabled in this section over here. We don't have the kick playing in this section, and we're also cutting the bass, so that when the kick comes back in, it hits with full punch once again. Then we've got compression, which is set to sidechain, and we are sidechaining not to the kick drum itself, but to this sidechain track. And that's a really nice trick. You can just use a sidechain track if you want to sidechain, even if the kick drum is not playing. Alright, so that would be the bass track. Nothing crazy going on here. We've got the drums group, and here you'll find a lot of processing. First, I'm going to go track by track, and then we will take a look at the processing on the entire group. Alright, so first sound is this clap. We've got EQ on top and sidechain, just reducing the attack of this sound a bit, but we are also using return tracks over here. So on this track, we are routing it to return track number 1, which is drum room, and it sounds like this. We're just using this drum room for a bunch of tracks here in the drums group. This just makes the sound a bit more cohesive. All right, next up, we've got the snare and perk group. We've got the perk really short and snappy. With EQ, just simple curve, and then we've got a snare. Also very simple, more high frequencies over here, and then we've got some processing on the entire group, so snare and the perk. Also sidechain and reverb, quite a long reverb, so this is playing along with this clap drop. Next up, we've got vocal ambience, and this is a simpler, and we are using the fades over here to get a forever sustained sample. On top of it, we are using a bit of Redux to add that digital sounding artifacts. We're doing EQ, just cutting all of the mids here, just leaving the highs up from 1K. We've got sidechain over here and reverb on top of the sidechain, as well as utility, just adjusting the gain over here. And this vocal ambience really sits in the background. On top we just have a kick shaker, and this kick shaker just plays along with the kick drum and adds a bit of a organic feel. This is what it sounds like. You've got EQ on top, and with the kick drum, without it, the kick drum, it sounds a bit more aggressive, and with the shaker, it just makes it sound a bit more organic. On top, we've got also a fast hat sample, a really quick closed hat here, some simple EQ adjustments, just limiting the range of our frequencies also to the highs, cutting some resonances as well. And then we've got a hat loop, auto pan on top. We are just making it swirl from left to right. We've got EQ as well, just leaving the highs and sidechaining. On the entire group, we've got a full parallel mode in the glue compressor. So with the dry wet fully up, it sounds like this. But we're just blending it in slightly. And then there's sidechain on top of the entire group. With the bass and with the kick, this is what it sounds like. Okay, and then we have the instruments group. Same strategy, we're just going to go through the tracks and then take a look at the group. So track number 1 is going to be the main melody. This is what the instrument track sounds like. We've got wavetable and operator. By the way, we are using some echo here, so sending this signal to return track D. And the first sound, the wavetable, is just a very simple saw wave. And then we've got an operator, just to add that little bit of white noise on top. And that's just because wavetable doesn't have a really nice soft sounding noise oscillator, so it's really easy to add it with operator, just limiting the frequencies here to the very highs. And on top of these sounds, as I said, we've got echo. Then there's also on the track itself compression, and there's also compression with a very similar function later in the chain. We are just controlling the gain and just limiting the dynamic range here a bit. With utility, we're just turning down the signal, and EQ8 is doing the biggest difference here. We're really cleaning up the signal, removing all of these lower frequencies and really focusing on the noisy, bright part of the synth. On top, we've got reverb. Another reverb here later in the chain. You can combine different reverbs in this way. And we're also combining the echo with a simple delay here in the ping pong mode and some sidechain compression as well. So there's a lot of processing here, but this just makes this lead sound really huge. On top of this one, we've got an ARP. It sounds like this, dry. So similar deal as with the melody, we've got wavetable, nice analog sounding patch with 3 voices of unison here, and then we've got operator for white noise, with a bit of spread, so stereo added, and we're just limiting the frequencies. Instead of something like this, also cutting the very highs. So it sounds nice and soft and can be placed in the background. Alright, so on top of this one, we've got reverb. Quite long, almost 9 seconds here. We've got EQ. Boosting some of the mids here and cutting the lows. Then we've got compression and sidechain. And the compression is quite heavy here. We are really constraining the dynamic range here. And you can especially hear that with how the reverb just sounds much bigger once we let go of the sound. That's the ARP. And then on top of this one, we've got wavetable playing a pad sound. Would sound quite harsh without this EQ. So this is just a 2-octave saw wave synth in the shimmer setting, 8 voices, so quite big. And we're just limiting this wavetable to the mid frequencies. On top of this EQ, which is just mostly for sound design, we are placing reverb, which has a very short decay and a lot of dry wet. So we're just using this reverb also for sound design with the chorus enabled. This reverb just makes this pad really dreamy sounding, and it's one of my favorite ways of creating nice, smooth sounding pads, just taking reverb and then applying a lot of it, even with a short decay. And on top, we just have sidechain. As for the other tracks in this project, we just have some sweeps, some cymbals. So we have the sweep, and just EQ. Here we have just reverb applied and compression pretty much, as well as here. Then same thing here with this cymbal. And then similar thing here. We've also got sidechain and auto pound just for this subtle left and right swirling. Alright, so these would be all of the tracks in this project, and let's play everything from the start. Alright, I hope you found some of the techniques we've discussed today useful. Make sure to check out our Music Production Academy with lots of start to finish courses on making tracks in various genres. And if you'd like to learn Ableton 12 with all the foundations of music production, check out the Beginner to Advanced Live 12 Start to Finish course. Make sure to also see the Everything Bundle Collector's Edition, which includes all of the courses, sound packs and project files in our store. To see all of that, check the video description. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, write us a comment, and I will see you in the next ones.